What's up, y'all? It's Sylvesta, man. I'm just coming to y'all because I want to tell y'all the real story from the beginning, middle to end about how I started my brand and how you guys are going to come on this journey with me. So, woo. Back at home, so yeah, I got chill on me, got his shorts. But this video is going to be cool, man. This video is cool to me because now that YouTube is kind of picking up, I want to tell you guys why and who and what CHARLESSYLVESTA is. So I go by Chuck, but my real name is Charles and my middle name is Sylvesta, right? CHARLESSYLVESTA Davis. And let's start back in 2018. Let's take it back, baby. So in 2018, I was playing football at the University of Virginia. Super fun time. A lot of friends, a lot of family made. And there, around my junior year, I decided I don't want to go to the NFL. I had a lot of friends go to the NFL, and they just weren't happy, right, doing what they were doing. The money was great, right, but they didn't have freedom. So I decided right then and there I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And from that point on, we started a brand called Rarity. Got it tatted on me. So Rarity was a clothing brand. I started with me and my friends. I came up with the idea after, we came from Miami. I wanted to actually do a club, but we didn't have the money to do that. So I was like, yo, let's create something we can call ours. So we created Rarity. We did 3 drops, right? And the 3 drops were super funny because we didn't have any money. We were in college. So we basically got everybody's money, then paid for the clothes, and then took a little bit of profit. Which is the pre-order method. That's what they call it now. So I feel like an old head saying that, but yeah, that's actually what we did in real time. So we did that successful, right? Sold over 200 shorts, friends, family, all that, right? Shirts and shorts and whatever. So that ended up, going a bunch of different ways because when you bring a lot of people into a business, everybody has a lot of different ideas, right? And it's kind of hard to get everybody's vision into one roof. So, that ended up going dark. I did it by myself for a little bit, but then that ended up going dark. I still kept the name alive. I still have a business, Rarity and Rarity House, right? We'll get to Rarity House at the end. And Rarity is still well alive. But CHARLESSYLVESTA is who I am. And on this journey, I've always been fond of art, houses. John Lautner is one of my favorite architects, right? John Lloyd, my fault, is one of my favorite architects as well, right? I love brutalist, modern houses. I love the 90s and 80s aesthetic of mid-century modern, and that is kind of the end game, right? But in this journey of CHARLESSYLVESTA, I've been creating furniture pieces, right? Because that's what I truly love. And I've been taking architecture classes because that's what I truly love, right? I fell in love with this a long time ago, and I tried to tell people about it, 2018, 2019, but they really wasn't rocking with it. And that's okay. That's not their vision. So CHARLESSYLVESTA is me, and it's the story of getting back to that little kid, right? That little kid happiness when you don't have a care in the world. And that's what I'm striving for in this company. It's about making myself happy. That's why if you go on my Instagram page, you'll see me being a baby, me being 4 years old, and then me being the age of 6 in the last photo. And then after that, the photos will be more current. But CHARLESSYLVESTA is a furniture company, and each piece embodies a time period in my life or a situation or something that I like. The first collection is called The Beginning. The second collection doesn't really have a name yet. And the third collection is called I Like, right? Anytime I get an idea and I have to get it down on paper, like what did Prince say? Or what did Mike Jackson say? If I don't get the idea down, get this song down, Prince is going to get it. So it's when God gives me an idea, I put it in this book right here, right? And you can even see we have so many. This is God's Onion. We have the Rarity Key. We have the lip sofa. I had a super big lip all growing up, and kids made fun of me. So that's an example. It's gonna be a red lip sofa, and it's gonna embody my lip. And I'll tell you guys about God's Onion right now too, because that's really special to me. So God's Onion is going to be a big centerpiece for a living room or outside by the pool, right? And it starts as an onion So when you go to Outback, right, the blooming onion, it's a regular onion, so you dip it in batter and it blooms out like an onion. So that's kind of resembles what I'm going through right now in my life. God is working on this onion before it can bloom. Like I have to correct debt. I have to correct, fix relationships. I have to, work hard, get 2 jobs, really build my life up, save money to put into this company. So that's what God's onion is. So when I really and am trying to embody is a company that tells my story, right? People fall in love with the story. If you don't have a story, you don't have a way to persuade people at all. Eventually people will fall off. If you blow up for the moment, they will fall off, right? Your following and people that support you. So I'm building a community with people that actually dive in and support, my story. And that's Charles-Sylvesta. Like I'm taking one thing at a time with this furniture company. The next step is to bring back Rarity House, and that's for a whole different video, right? And Rarity. But for right now, it's about building pieces, showing you guys the process from beginning to end and continuing to tell my story. Like yesterday, I'll tell you guys about another piece. My grandma, love her to death, right? And she's been, supporting me in this journey. Like she'll comment on the YouTube or she'll retweet or this and say, I'm proud of you. And I created a Becky chair, right? For those who don't know, like, I won the lottery way back when, which was a very confusing time, and it's still very dark, and it's led me down a dark path that now I'm finally 14 years later getting myself out of. 14's a size. I won it when I was 21. I'm now 28, so 9 years ago. I won it when I was 20, something like that. And that led me down a very dark path, but that's a segment that me and my grandma have always held. Like she was the first person to buy my scratch offs, right? And she still gambles today. And that's like a patch that we've kind of had together. So the chair is going to be a brown recliner with a clear holster that, fixes the recliner up and back. The chair is going to be brown, clear holster. And it's going to be a triple stacked big recliner, right? So if you have a recliner, it's going to be another recliner on it, then another recliner on it. The first part of the recliner is brown, which embodies, our skin, our melanin that, that we're so proud, to have, and the struggles and the benefits that we go through with that. The next part of the chair embodies me and my grandma's relationship when it comes to money, right? In our situations that we've had, good or bad, with money, right? And I'm going to embody and tell that story. And then the last part of the chair is yellow, which is, strictly about my grandma because she has seasonal depression. If it's not sunny outside, she not rocking with it. She's not rocking with it. It's not a good vibe for her, right? So that's just a simple, piece that means so much, that has so many layers, right? And it tells a wide range of story. I can go on for an hour just with that one piece. And that's what's so cool about Charles-Sylvesta. Nobody will be able to copy. It doesn't matter if I show you all the pieces, right? I've seen so many times where I've been so dialed into a brand, and it's like, I want to ask him, or I do ask him, like, why'd you make this piece? Not to be like a smart ass or anything like that, but just for the simple fact, I want to know more. I want to grow with you. Like, this is an attachment thing. This is a relationship. Like, I truly want to grow with you. And the people that I follow and the brands that I truly dive into, like, they have a story. Ruiji, right? He's from the Philippines. RH. All the men in his family's names start with the RH. Rude, right? That's cool. Rick Owens, he talks about that screen printed on clothes. Like, no, he really makes clothes. If you go into Rick Owens' store in Soho, they're runway pieces you can leave out with, right? What other brand is doing that? What other brand is putting the time to cut and sew and make those garments? You know what I'm saying? Like, people are just screen printing. People are just, following trends and waves because they want to make money, and to each his own. But Charles-Sylvesta isn't about making money. It's not about chasing a dollar. Like, I'm constructing this business as an art form, right? And the money part, yeah, there won't be anything sold less than $30,000, but that's because that's what I believe my art is. Like, that recliner chair, that Becky chair that I talked to you about, that's $250,000 chair, right? It's not for the masses. it's not for, I don't know who it's for, but it's not for the masses. It's a distinct group, right? And when you're building something for a distinct group, it takes time to build. It takes trust. It takes a story, right? Because those buyers that are coming to buy the George Condo pieces, the Javier and Kaija pieces, the Jalil pieces, the Slum pieces, they have a story. People follow that story. So that's what I've been, deep dive. Oh, shalom. That's what I'm deep diving into. And that's what this is about. This is about a story. This is about friendship. This is about love. This is about lust. This is about telling my stories about gambling, about barn, about being in debt. It's everything. And it's about conquering all those and living above your demons, because you never lose them. You just learn to live above them. And that's what Charles Sylvester is about. That's what it's about. Winning. It's about finally winning. So I ain't gonna get too deep for y'all, but that's it. And every week I'm going to start coming on here also in between New York and telling a story about each and every, piece and why this piece means so much to me, right? And yeah, man. And this is Charles Sylvester. I'm going to catch y'all.